Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today what I wanted to kind of talk about on the almost 1 year anniversary since I have retired early, my viewpoints and my thoughts and personally things that I feel I've observed or things that have happened to me since retiring early, things that I wish I knew. And one of them that I think impacted me the most was my structure went away because I wasn't working the 8 to 5 Monday through Friday job anymore. And I didn't have to make plans around my work schedule, like to go to the chiropractor or to take my kitty to the vet or to go to the bookstore, or can I take that class or can I go here? You had to work around all of these things. And so for me personally, when I retired, it was like this whole building, this whole structure just kind of came crumbling down around me. And it was interesting because I think the first couple of weeks after I retired, it was like on Sunday, I had this urge to set my alarm for Monday morning. And I realized I didn't have to do that. And when I had to make an appointment for something, I would try to do it at strategic times where it wouldn't interfere with my work. And then I realized I don't have to do that because all of my days are now open. I can do what I want and when I want to do them. So that's one of the big things that changed for me personally, was that structure just, kind of fell away. The routine of doing the same exact thing every single day in regard to getting up with the alarm, taking care of my cat, doing, my what I call my beauty parlor in the morning, which is, take a shower, put your makeup on, brush your teeth, fix your hair, all of that stuff. And then scheduling in my exercise and all of that stuff. And, oh, I can't do this until I get done with work at 5 o'clock. Now I just do whatever I want when I want to do it. The second thing that I noticed for me personally, and maybe this has happened to some of you as well that have retired or have retired early, is I started noticing more of the little things. And I think it's because my mind quieted down so much from being so work focused all the time. I mean, I remember the elation, and I know a lot of us do, of yay, it's Friday and we're looking forward to this weekend like it's some privilege that's been given to us, which is like this, to me, this twisted way of society. And I know that it's just how things are, and they have been that way for a long, long time. But Sunday afternoon would roll around and I would start getting this feeling in the pit of my stomach, this dread of, oh God, I've got to go back to work Monday and I've got to, take care of 5 clients and be on the phone for half the day. And then there's this office meeting that I really don't want to, be a part of. And just all of this stuff that went with the work, right, environment. And so I didn't really get a chance, to me, personally, being able to just kind of like notice all these little things about how my anxiety went down, my stress level went down, and my sense of urgency went down. And I have really had to fight hard to learn to relax into just being, just saying, okay, this is where I'm at. What do I want to do today? Well, I want to go for a walk for sure because I'm one of those people that like to be out in nature and doing things. And I want to go to the library and I want to, peruse some books, maybe check one out to read. I've got lots of them to read here. So it's, just all these little things. Do I feel like going to this particular place on this particular day, or can I do it on a different day? It didn't matter anymore. I could do it whenever I wanted because my schedule was now my own. It didn't belong to somebody else, and I had to work around that schedule. So that was really interesting. And I started noticing other little things too about how my mood improved and how I just felt more at peace with myself. One of the other things that I noticed, and I think maybe other people feel this way, it very much so mattered to me for the first few weeks after retiring, was feeling guilty that I retired. And I was feeling guilty that I left my coworkers and said, oh, well, how are they going to handle my workload and all this nonsense? And then I said to myself, why do I care? It's not my problem. I wasn't obligated to stay there until I was in the grave. Nobody is. And I just had to like get over that. Like, they don't care that I'm gone. I know they don't. And so why should I care that I'm gone? Because my life doesn't revolve around everybody else. It revolves around me, what's important to me, how I relate to my spiritual side and my way of handling things and getting back into just being more of myself and who I am as a person and reconnecting with things that I lost for decades because I was working nonstop all the time. So sometimes people might feel guilty if they leave work and they feel guilty that their family members or friends or other people that they know are still working and they're not. But that's not your fault if you retire early and they cannot. Okay, everybody blazes their own path in this world, and it's just decisions that you either make or you don't make, or roads that you take or you don't take, and different things that you come across. And I was just one of those people that made some good decisions at the right time that allowed me to do this. If those things hadn't happened, would I still be working full time? Oh, yes, I would still be working full time. So I've learned that you just got to let that guilt go because you have nothing to feel guilty for. Okay. And then one of the other things that I really, really noticed, and I think I touched on this just a little bit ago, was just that absolute peace that came over me. And as the weeks melted into the months, it's really just become so apparent in my life and my awareness of it. And I find myself smiling more and smiling at nothing in particular. And the joy I have going out and walking and talking to complete strangers and meeting their dogs on these walks, because everybody takes their dogs out walking. And I love that because I love animals. And just the joy of not having to wake up to an alarm clock, just letting my cat wake me up whenever Mozart decides to wake up in the morning, going to bed whenever I want. Of course, I don't do that. I still go to bed at a very structured time, but that's because I'm one of those people that likes my 8 hours of sleep. But just having that complete and total freedom to do what I want when I want. And I think some people, if they're very social creatures and they were working in an environment, in an office or, something like that, and then they leave that environment, they might feel isolation from that. Now, for me personally, I worked from home for the last 12 years, meaning by myself, and all of my other coworkers were either remote or in an office at the time. Now everybody in that company is remote. It's a very small company. So I didn't have that workplace environment for the last 12 years of my working life. I had that prior to that. So I was already burned out on it and done with it. And when I had the opportunity to work remotely, I took it and I ran with it. And I actually really, really enjoyed it. I have the personality that thrives on that kind of stuff. I love being around people, but for me personally, being by myself and doing my own thing actually sits better with me. So everybody's going to be different in this situation. So you might be feeling isolated. So you have to, kind of rewire that environment around you. If you're not comfortable being by yourself, if you're not comfortable not having those conversations and those let's go out for drinks after work thing, or the work lunches or things like that, that might be a little bit harder for you. For me, there was no transition because I didn't need to transition from that because I did work remotely. So picking up new hobbies or things that lit you up when you were a kid, because remember, never let that magic go. Always let that inner child that we all still have, don't let the screaming one come out. Okay, yes, you have to deal with that, but I'm talking about the joyful one, the one that got excited seeing Christmas trees, or got excited seeing snow, or got excited seeing, beautiful colored leaves on the sidewalk when they're walking down the street. Crayons, the smell of crayons, the smell of a book, the joy you get from opening up a book and start reading it, and it's like this totally engrossing tale. All of these things that just can get you back into yourself and who you are as this amazing person that deserves every good thing that comes your way. And I just hope that anyone out there that's watching this, I hope that you feel that you're worth it. And if you can do it, don't keep holding off until, oh, I'll just keep working another year. Well, what if you don't have another year? Okay? You don't need to have $3 million in the bank to retire unless you're blowing through money left and right. Then that's a different story. I don't have $3 million in the bank, and I do all of my stuff with investing anyway. And I just, less is more for me, and I don't need to live this fancy highfalutin lifestyle. That's just who I am. And I like getting back to more of the simpler things. I've never lived a posh life anyway because I've never been wealthy, so I don't even know what that's like. But I think you know what I'm talking about. But give yourself permission to do what you think is right for you personally. And if you're married or you have a significant other, you're going to have those discussions with them. Obviously, I'm single, so I only had to have the discussion with myself. But you get what I mean. So I hope that discussing these things, getting these things out in the open, and getting past that stigma of you've got to work until you're 62 or 63 or 65 or 67 just so you can collect, what the government decides to give you at the time. If you're able to retire earlier, do it. Okay? It's going to be one of the best decisions you've probably ever made in your entire life. Do it while you're still young, while you still have life force left in your body and the energy to do the things you want to do, and go the places you want to go, and maybe reinvent yourself. Just all of that comes with it. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on things that I have observed since retiring and having been retired for almost a year now. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and put your comments down below. I would love to hear from you and get some good conversations going on what's worked for you. What things have you observed since retiring? What things have changed in your life? And we will talk soon. Take care. Bye.